Once Upon a Time and many other things. I have Miss Karen David. That might happen a lot in this panel.
Judge.
So, my first question, and then I'm going to throw it to the line. Did you guys see the finale? Did you?
Yes, they're cups. Oh, right.
You're
just pointing at things and saying what they were.
Strike it, strike it. You've done some of the productions, Sean, right? Strike it, strike it, strike the cups.
They're so caring.
Sorry.
So did any of you see the finale? Have you seen anything happening this last? I mean, I know Karen might have because it's in there.
Because I was looking for Hook and Mama. He calls her Mama. That was very funny. It's like, oh hello. Well, first he did his funny takes. He was like, oh hello, Mama. And that's Colin for you because he always wants to make you laugh.
Yes. Unfortunately, I did not see the finale yet, so don't spoil it for me. But I look forward to it.
In this panel, there's no guarantees you're not going to get spoiled. I'm sorry.
How many of you guys watched the finale? And so, how are we going to do this? Because we're not getting any spoilers out to those.
Well,
I just kidding.
it's kind of
They all die in the end.
It's a general rule of thumb. If you come to a panel and you haven't seen the finale or end, then you're going to get spoiled. So we'll do earmuffs, or what? We'll do a signal. I don't know. Okay. So why don't we start with our line? We've got people waiting to ask questions.
It's always great how various characters from various stories, both fairy tales and literature, end up interacting both in their pasts and present. I'm curious, if each of you got the chance to have a say in some sort of episode centered around your character, what kind of fictional character would you want your role to interact with, whether it be from literature or Disney movies like, say, Gingerbread Man or the Sanderson sisters from Hocus Pocus?
You love your gingerbread man. He asked that question the other day. We're going to get him on Once Upon a Time. That'd be amazing.
Right, good, yes. That was wonderfully stated, and of course it's always nice to name check the gingerbread man. I think if my character Robin Hood could have a hypothetical interaction with any other fictional character, I'd like to have a slightly drunken argument with R2-D2.
Bugging at the end.
I think Dr. Whale would be drunk too. A drunken battle with Dracula to the death. Frankenstein v. Dracula. That'd be fun.
That has just been copyrighted.
Are we on a drunken theme here or something? Because I don't know Jasmine. I don't think that's princess-like for Jasmine to be. Although it would be really funny if you spiked her drink and she became really tipsy.
Fall off the flying carpet.
Impaired driving, magic carpeting. Can you imagine? I would love to be on a magic carpet ride with RuPaul or Dame Edna as a fairy godmother.
Show you the world.
I'm sorry, you gotta bring it now.
Sashay, Sashay. I'm gonna make a sash and make a splash.
Keep a straight face.
How do you guys feel that the show is ending?
Well, I know we were sort of saying no spoilers, but I don't think it is ending. I think there's another season. There's going to be a season 7, but I think it's season 7. I believe is going to be kind of a bit like a reboot with some of the original characters, but I think it's going to be like a whole new.
A whole new world.
There is going to be a season 7, but of course, as you probably know, a lot of your favourite characters won't be returning. But I'm sure the incredibly clever writers will come up with lots of new, exciting characters, and there'll be lots of new adventures to enjoy. So I hope you watch it and enjoy it.
There'll be flashbacks.
Oh, will they?
Yeah, there'll be flashbacks. That's in true one style. She said, oh God.
Karen's in the writer's room now. She's not going to be on screen. She's going to be camera now.
Hello.
Hello.
Besides acting, what is your favorite thing to do?
Napping's quite good. She doesn't get enough press these days. Solid nap. Karen, you enjoyed this?
Well, over this weekend, it's been singing with David. Sean has some serious pipes. Used to be a pop star.
No, when she says serious pipes, she just means I'm a plumber in my part-time. I just keep pipes in my van, so she's misleading you.
Modest, so British and so modest. I like going to the studio and writing music. So I think that's what I'll be doing. And I'm moving house. I'm going to be Sean's neighbour soon.
Yeah. It's going to be the craziest neighbourhood, people. It's going to be so good. The greatest neighbourhood in all of these United States.
Charlotte, Forest, and Agrabah. He's joined into one.
Right, we've got moving day coming up. I think moving day soon.
And Sean's helping too, so that's going to be. I'm just excited to see him in a tank top.
All actors, we're going to come in the exact right outfit for moving day. And then I'll get there and I might be clashing with her husband. I have to go change my character. Clash on moving day.
I bought a house too. We're all, not in their neighborhood. Cooler neighborhood. But I actually got a welcome gift from my neighbors. The Geek Squad was mounting a TV in my living room, and they're like, I'm so sorry what they did to you, man. And I was like, what are you talking about? It's like, oh, to your fence, I thought you saw it. And I was like, no, show me. And he walks me downstairs, he walks me down to the front, and on the gate, it says, Highland Park Hipsters Out. Swear to God, but it was like so like beautifully done. Like it almost looks like it was a Banksy. So I was like, oh, and he was like, dude, that's just in chalk. You can take that off. And I was like, you know what? It stays where it lays. I like a badge of honor. And I was thinking, like, you're talking about moving clothes. Like, I was a very quiet new neighbor. Like, was I wearing like suspenders, like not functionally one day? Some skinny in pants. Like, what was the pair? There is a lot of hipsters. There's a lot of hipsters in Highland Park. I was like, that's so weird. Yeah, hipsters out Highland. And but this is brilliant. So I had a stylist. You borrow clothes and stuff when you're doing press or something. So I was doing press for iZombie, and I borrowed these clothes, and Gabriel guy came over and picked them up, and I showed him, and he's like, "Oh my God, that is fantastic! But you know what you can do?" And he just marked out the T, and he changed it to an I. He's like, Highland Park Hipsters, wet. So that's what it says now.
I'm so sorry, we've completely lost the thread.
I like to golf.
I started taking golf lessons. And apparently
I can show you that world.
But apparently Elvis leg, so I'm humping a goat, is what they say, and I need to keep it. There's no other way of saying it. This is a family show, but there's no other way of saying it with the posture. They said I've got to keep it high and tight. So like in, as opposed to going out.
That was my high school nickname.
Really well good.
Here are we, ladies and gentlemen, the
Good kids.
I really hope that answered your question. I'm pretty certain it didn't. Thank you. I don't know what just happened.
It's just a series of clicks and buzzes. I have no idea.
Hello.
Hello. How much? Wait, let me see.
It's all right.
How much of your props are actual props, and which ones are actually computer generated? I already know the clock, so you don't have to tell me that one. Or the clock tower.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry, I was thinking that like props, like, yeah, give it props, you know. I completely misread that.
Talking about acting, Sean.
I know. Well, I play Robin Hood, or played Robin Hood, and I have a bow, and sometimes arrows, and sometimes not. And the reason that sometimes not is, and I've said this before, ABC are very, very adamant that you don't shoot any of the other actors. I can't be trusted to not do that. So sometimes when you see me kind of going like that, which is not very often, I'm just doing that. I just look like some sort of lunatic. Been sniffing gas or something. But so yes, the arrows for the safety of the other actors and the people of Vancouver at large remain unshot.
I think you wield your arrows better than Stephen Amell. That's just.
Wow!
Oh my God! This is a time battle! Stephen and his six-pack are doing fine.
The response to that was a bit like, I think Nelson Mandela should go back to jail. It's a fictional character, people. And by the way, copyright infringement.
So my magic carpet was CGI, although when we were filming that day on episode 15, lovely Joanna Susha and I, we were like giggling like little girls because we've always wanted to ride. I mean, who doesn't want to go on a magic carpet ride? And the fact that it was Jasmine and Ariel and that we were on the carpet, and it was really cool. It was like being two little girls on an amusement park ride with a big fan blasting us away. We were freezing cold, and we were just going from side to side, holding on for dear life. It was a lot of fun. And I just love the fact that Jasmine could just snap her finger like a badass and just say, "Okay, fine, just bring in the magic carpet, just sort it out."
It's like Uber.
Yes.
Hey, Rick and Morty, where are you going?
Yeah. Are we boring you? One's on the left, one's on the right. Man, somebody.
Sorry, I love Stephen Amell. He's a dear friend. And all the hearts that I handled, the hearts were actual hearts. I think it came. Actually, it was just one heart. Some guy named Doug died. It's not magic. It's Doug.
It's a vodka in this water.
Well, I hope that answers your question. We're doing very well today.
What's your guys' favorite scene in Once Upon a Time?
I liked all the, I mean, I gotta be partial to my Frankenstein stuff.
My scenes were your favorite.
Your scenes are my favorite. Okay. I truly love the black and white world. I didn't know we were going to shoot in the black and white, the Frankenstein stuff, and I thought that was very cool. And the CGI looked amazing in black and white, I thought.
Yeah, it did. It really did.
I got to do an episode where I am running after a thief, a purse-snatching kind of thief, and I just jump on a horse and I ride this horse down the main street, which is supposed to be New York, but it was actually Vancouver. And again, it's not that they don't trust us actors, but they don't trust us. And so instead of actually galloping on a real horse, because obviously for the safety of the horse and me, you can't run a horse on concrete down a main street, so they gave me a kind of like a mechanical rocking horse, and then they put it on the back of a truck, and then they drove the truck down the street with me just going, yeah! Yeah! Real street that you can't shut down like 10 blocks in Vancouver because it's a real city. There were just people sort of lining the streets going, what's going on here? They were looking at me like, oh, I think it's like a Make-A-Wish foundation. He thinks he's on a real horse. And it was almost as if the crowd were going, don't say anything, just let it. No, you're doing great. It's definitely a real horse. So that was a lot of fun for me, just seeing people look at me and he's not all there, is he?
Things you do to pay the bills. I have 3. So my first one was with, in no particular order, with Joanna riding the magic carpet. That was childhood dream come true. It ticked off my bucket list. My 6-year-old bucket list is ride on the magic carpet, and then with Ariel. So that was amazing. And then the second one was when I was, not that I liked being trapped in an hourglass with sand coming up to me, but I just love these iconic moments that they added from the movie into the show. So that was a really fun moment. And then the last one was when we were filming, this is in the first half of season 6. I don't know if you guys remember when Evil Queen's Vader-ing me in Granny's Diner. And Lana, who's always such a pro, and when she's Evil Queen, man, she is Evil Queen. And her A game is right there. And so when she's Vader-ing me, I have to do these like choking noises, and out of nowhere came this beast of a noise that was so un-princess-like. It was horrifying, and being the new kid on the block of the show, you want to be cool, you want everyone to like you and everything. And all of a sudden I'm like, instead of going, I was like, and it came out of nowhere, and I stopped, and I was like, oh my god, what happened? It was like a monster, and Lana couldn't stop laughing the whole time. So when she was Vadering me, she was like, I can't look. And we were just there. That took a long time to do that scene.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, I got an addendum. Any scene I shared with Bobby, just sharing the same air as that man, who is just a wonderful human being and an amazing actor, and getting to learn from him, and yeah.
Yeah, I think
that's special.
I think we all kind of feel like that about him. He's just one. I mean, they're all fabulous, talented actors on the show, but for a lot of us at a certain age, he's an iconic kind of actor. I think ever since sort of Train Spotting and things like that. So I think we all want to be kind of in with Bobby. So anything
I want to be Bobby.
Yeah. So yes, all hail Robert Carlyle. Sure. Thank you for your question.
So I got 2 questions.
Uh-oh. So sorry, we've just run out of time.
What is the favorite part of playing your character, your individual characters? What is your absolute favorite part about it?
Bobby. I really like, Eduardo puts us all in fantastic clothes. The clothes of Frankenstein was amazing. It's like we're going to put a sash here and a hat here, and it's going to be raining. The steampunk clothes of Frankenstein was pretty rad. It was pretty rad to get into that world and into those clothes.
Yeah, ditto. I would say with Eduardo, it was a dream.
Yeah.
When he showed me the sketches of Jasmine, again, I was like a little girl again, giggling and so excited. And I said, oh my God, and the iconic blue costume, and when they were putting the hair extensions and then the crown, and just seeing it like a painting just come together was so amazing. Eduardo was really funny though when I first met him, because I saw the sketches and I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh wow, midriff showing. Okay, so probably have to just have salad, porridge, be really good veg and fish. And he's like, oh, no, darling. I'm like, oh what, no? I can eat more? And he's like, no, liquid diet, darling. Liquid diet. Smoothies, green smoothies, mornings in the morning. He's like,
cigarettes and water on the back.
For a whole year, he said. Enjoy. But it was worth it. But when I was in the Cape, the beautiful blue cloak, then I thought, yes, today I can eat.
I'm the same. The first time I put the sort of Robin Hood costume on, you know, I think as actors, costumes really inform. They can inform a performance. They change your posture. They can change the way you walk. So that was kind of a bit like Karen and David were saying, that you start to go, oh right, yeah, I feel this now. I can do this. And the other thing I think for me was, you know, as actors we play lots of different roles over our careers, and often it's, you know, just a regular person going through some sort of challenge in their life, but to play a character like Robin Hood, I think it's one of the few times, not the only times, but one of the few times when people, friends of mine back in England or elsewhere, sort of say, what are you doing, or who are you playing? And you say Robin Hood, they get it. Do you know what I mean? There's almost no. I don't think anybody ever went, who? What? Robin Hood? It's such a well-known, iconic kind of and sort of loved character that it was a great kind of calling card to kind of go, yeah. I'm Robin Hood. Yeah. So that was probably one of my favourite bits about it. She's trouble, that one. She's trouble. Check it out.
Yeah, we have trouble.
Hey, mine's actually just a comment. You might remember me, but
Yes.
I don't
Hello,
know.
nice to see you again.
About a year ago, she got diagnosed with breast cancer, and she had to go through chemo treatments and such, and I was hospitalized at the time myself, so I couldn't be physically with her. You guys and your show was her escape, so I just wanted to say thanks again, and thanks for doing your part to make sure we had our happy ending.
Oh, bless you. God bless you, darling. Thank you. And I have to say, I'm not trying to speak for everybody when I say this, but I'm sure we kind of all agree that one of the other greatest things about this show is A, that it's a show that a family can all watch together on a Sunday, which is quite rare nowadays. And also, I don't think there's any single member of the cast that would tell you that they ever get tired of hearing beautiful things like that. And the fact that we get to provide an escape for you is probably the greatest honour that we can have as actors. So thank you for watching. It means a lot. Continue to cover it.
First, I just want to say, you guys are amazing. I love your show. I was just wanting to know, what is your favorite episode that you guys have been on?
Karen?
Oh gosh, it's so tough to choose because all of them. I think. Oh, it's a toss-up. Oh, okay. I'm going to fail this question miserably because there's like a couple of them. I think my first day on set was filming with Ginny, and it was like going on the first day of class and you're meeting everyone for the first time, and all my scenes that day were with Ginny, and she was so lovely and welcoming, and so my nerves just kind of dissipated because she just makes you feel so at home, and I felt like I knew her for so long. So that was a memory that I'll hold dear to my heart, you know, my first episode coming in. I don't know, end of episode 4, I'm a bit, my parents, my dad worked in pharmaceuticals after being a cricket player, and he, you know, my parents are very health nutcases, and so anytime I have a cold or something, it's like, you just want to tell mom and dad so you can, you know, get them to say, oh, poor baby, oh, I wish you, but instead my dad would be like, okay, take 2 of this, take 1 of this, take 3 of this, take 2 of this, and so it was really, oh my God, when I met Ginny, I opened a care gift package for my parents, and it was actually for Ginny as well. So I've kind of been like that with the rest of the cast. I don't know, have I given you tea?
No.
Oh. You weren't in this season,
We've had
so...
kind of worms now.
No. So I brought loads of care packages. Sorry, I don't have the same messages. It was, yes, PG tips and all that, and I did that and in all the episodes that I was doing. Sorry. I kind of halted because I was like, oh no, I'm going to dig myself into a really big hole right now.
You were there for a while before I came back. So.
That's right, but I didn't have any scenes with you.
No, I know. And everyone, I have to say, everybody was like, have you met Karen David yet? Have you met Karen David? And I was like, no. And they're like, she's the nicest girl in the world. And I have to say, they were not lying. Karen David actually is the nicest girl in the world.
I was just bribing them with tea. But that whole that episode there with Ginny was such a special day, and that was kind of my entrance, my foray into this wonderful family, an extended family, meeting everyone, and then doing the Agrabah episodes was so wonderful because going on a journey in the desert in Vancouver, as you do, and then just transforming this magical world. There was a scene, have you guys seen, okay, most of you are caught up, so I'm so sorry, this is a spoiler, but episode 15, you know when when Ariel meets Eric in the tent, and they're having this wonderful tender moment. We were surrounded by all this gravel and it was kicking up dust throughout the whole day, and I basically pooped all over that scene, literally, metaphorically, not physically. They were having this tender moment, and all of a sudden my eye started going and I was like, and it was watering, and then I was like about to have like a big coughing fit, and so right when they were about to kiss, I went I started doing these awful gesticulations, and I did it again, and I felt really awful and embarrassed and everything. But that was a
things for you.
I know. I should just stick to flying magic carpets.
David, favorite episode?
Oh, favorite episode? Yeah, I gotta say the doctor romping around the forest with Bobby and Sebby Stan was a lot of fun. It was the reveal of Dr. Frankenstein, which was, and I don't know, maybe those of you that don't know, the whole wink of Dr. Whale, why he was, it was a whole wink because James Whale directed Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein, so that's why he was named Dr. Whale. He was not, people were like, is he gonna be the whale from Pinocchio? I mean, I like to eat. Yeah, but the doctor was fantastic. And the recent, Duncan was asked the other day about that scene was when the baby was born.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, and I came back with my blonde zombie hair. And someone asked, was it all ad-libbed? And I was like, I wish, but Sean was like really going there with his tears. Like, if I was like ad-libbing around it, he would not. Anyway, but that was like the only time we got to work.
Yeah,
it was like shared like 2 scenes
together.
Yeah.
We did, and we spent the whole day pretending to look at flying monkeys. Yeah. They're like, maybe smaller? I'm like, what, the monkey? No, your reaction.
Well, I was surprised that you kept it together with the tears. I mean, you're a professional actor. It's fantastic when that line was great, and when
that
said it's a girl and not green.
I think any episodes where they're harder to shoot when there's more of you because you have to shoot what we call coverage. You have to film every single person, so it takes a lot longer. But we often, it's a bit like school. We all like each other, we all get along, and so when there's a bunch of you, you start to giggle and try and make each other laugh and things like that. So scenes like, I forget, I never remember what season or episode it was, but there was a Camelot ball, and there's a dance scene and all of that sort of thing. And then I tried to stop Regina getting killed, and then I kind of get stabbed and all of that. And of course it's all very dramatic and serious, but the more serious something is, the more it makes me want to just make jokes and be silly. And so I remember us giggling a lot that day. And maybe that's why why I got killed. Maybe because I was taking it seriously. This is serious stuff! I'm like, well, yeah, maybe. For me, my favourite episode was probably the episode where we kind of explored Robin Hood's backstory and we kind of found out why he got the name Robin Hood, and I thought it was very clever the way that they kind of showed how he became the guy that he became, and yeah, so that was a lot of fun for me. Thank you for your question.
Thank you. My question is more towards Sean. If you were your character, how would, when you got killed, how do you feel when you got killed and you were starting to get in a relationship with Regina?
I'll go with bloody annoyed. Just found a new girlfriend, I've already had one wife that died, I've been living in the forest with a bunch of men, I settled down with a nice boy, and then before you know it, dead. No, I mean, listen, obviously it's a wonderful show and the people are great, and I'd just moved my family to Canada and I'd had my son born there, so I kind of thought that because of the way that the story was being told that I might be there for a minute. So it was obviously disappointing to leave the show, to say goodbye to my friends, but also, and I've said this in the past, our job as actors is to serve the writing, and sometimes we might not like a particular scene or the way something's written, but our job is they see a bigger picture for the show, whereas actors, we tend to kind of just look at our own character a little bit. So I always say that, as a writer myself, it's important as an actor to serve the writing, not just serve your own best interests. But of course, it was sad. Because also, I liked these two characters together. I liked Robin and Regina together, and I thought it was a really sweet love story. And I think I'd said a few times before my demise that they're a bit like Romeo and Juliet. Little did I know that, just like Romeo and Juliet, one of us was going to be dead soon. So yeah, it's but the beauty of our crazy profession is where one job ends, another one begins, and if the job that I'd been on before Once Upon a Time hadn't come to its natural end, I'd have never ended up with these lovely people. So, where God closes a door, somewhere He opens a window. Thank you.
Hello. If you could be any hero or villain in real life, it could be outside of the story fairy realm. Who would you be?
Stephen Amell and Arrow.
That's a comedy callback, Ted.
Okay, now the truth.
Heroes or villain? Takezo Kensei in Heroes. I don't know. Hero or villain in real life? All I have to draw in my canon of work is villains, so I have to go with a villain. I know Rosenbaum's here, so I'll say Lex Luthor.
Do you mean fictional character heroes or villains, or do you mean people that we consider to be heroes or villains in real life?
Do your Trump. Do your Trump.
Is there somebody immediately? To serve as a hero, a great, great hero. To others, a villain.
No, there are a lot of people, it sounds a bit corny and a bit cliche, but there are so many people that live and work amongst us. Some of the police and the security here, the people that are firemen, the people that serve in our armed forces overseas. I know that this is really about fictional stuff, but Comic-Cons are great because we celebrate our fictional heroes and our villains, and we dress up and we have fun and all of that. But we are actually surrounded by real heroes every day, and I think it would be wonderful if we celebrated those kind of heroes as much as we celebrate our fictional superheroes as well.
On Sean's tip, I've always said, because I get asked a lot on social media, who are my heroes, not my villains, my heroes, and my mum and my dad are. Well, no, I'm not.
I've met her mum, she is amazing.
My mum and dad sacrificed so much, and to make a very long story short, that's what gives me inspiration to play these amazing characters, because I know I literally wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my parents. because they've kept me somewhat sane. And I don't know if it's that immigrant mentality when you leave a country for a better life, and my parents sacrificed so much and gave up a lot. They were only allowed to come to England and then to Canada with $20, so they had to leave everything behind. So, and my dad framed the $20 bill, and he kept it. And that served my sister and I as a reminder of a journey that we were supposed to embark on in our lives, and to go after your dreams and be proud of who you are. And you're not perfect at all, but you've got to love yourself either way. And so they've been my heroes for me. And so from there forth, I mean, they showed me everything. And obviously, if you're talking fictional characters, and going, of course, to Disney princesses, it was always Esmeralda, Jasmine, and Pocahontas. Because these were these strong women that looked exotic and looked different, and I thought, well, you know, because I was bullied when I was growing up, so I thought that, you know, me being the way I looked, being a bit of this and a bit of that, was not cool. And it's only as you get older and you grow up that you start to realize that all those quirks that make you what you are is all right.
Oh, well done. Well said.
Thank you. Okay, I wanted to say thank you for coming, and I love the show so much. If it were a man, I'd marry it and live happily ever after. There's never been a show that I've been wanting to work so much on the costuming for. My jacket is a tribute to it. It even has Once Upon a Time written on it. I have talents both in photography and costuming. How would I go about applying for a position like that? And is there anything that says you can't do both on something like that?
I think it's apprenticeships, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's also, the reason that it might be difficult to do both is because a lot of the work within a professional television show is union-based. If you're a cameraman, you're often in the kind of camera guild. If you're in costume, you're in the kind of costumiers guild. So it might be difficult to flip back and back and forth. But you know, all of us that are in the entertainment industry once worked and found our way. There is no. It's difficult because the same thing we get asked often is, how do I get into acting? How do I? And there is no finite, clear route. You do this, and then you're there. I think it starts with being as passionate about it as you obviously are, and then I think, as Karen and David said, the sort of apprenticeships, you know, you can write to. I mean, a lot of them, I think with costuming, for example, a lot of them go to college or university to study costume design, fashion design, things like that, and then they will. As far as I know, people kind of write in and say, can I come and do sort of YTS training or an apprenticeship or things like that.
Internships.
Internships.
They do post, you know, those things that are looking.
They're hard to find because obviously they're in demand. But you know, everybody that's in there, even from the great Colleen Atwood with her 10 Oscars or something, started once.
Who designed Stephen Amell's costume?
Everyone had to start somewhere, you know. So if you love it and you're passionate about it, I would say write to the costume designers that you love and say, I'm super passionate. Here's my work. Can you steer me in the right direction? And I'm sure. I think there's a thing in our industry where, for most of us, we really try to leave that ladder out to help the next person up, or at least that's how it should be. You know, you don't pull the trapdoor closed once you get in. It's an occupation where we can't do it on our own. It's a very collegial effort, and so I'm sure if you write to enough costume designers, they'll say, "Here's what I suggest," and they might be able to steer you right.
Right to Eduardo. I was amazed by the first time I walked into that, my first fitting for Once Upon a Time, the amount of people just making these beautiful costumes. It was like Fraggle Rock in there. It was,
The other thing is I wanted to, very quickly, two things. I want to thank you guys for being my escape because I had serious foot surgery and I had pain, screaming like a banshee pain, and you guys helped make my mind get off from that pain, and I watched the show and everything, and it was just, thank you for that. Very quickly, since you did Donald Trump, why did Donald Trump run for president? He needed a new house.
Very good. Silas one.
Yes, it is. So I know that all three of you guys sing very, very well. And I was wondering, were you guys sad that you weren't in the musical episode? And if you were in it, what would you want to sing?
Yep. I still haven't received a text back from Eddie and Adam. I was very shocked that I didn't get a call.
I'm upset. These two are singers. I'm not. I just moonlight sometimes for occasion. But I wasn't disappointed. A, because I knew that I would already be gone before they did that, so it wasn't like I was expecting to do it. And B, you know, we've got so many talented people on the show, and there's only so much room for all of those characters inside the 42 minutes and change of an episode. So no, I haven't seen it yet, so I was very proud of, because I know everyone's enjoyed it, loved it and everything, but I was just glad when I get to see it that Bex and Lana and Josh and Ginny and Colin got to see it, and I just hope the audience really enjoyed what they saw.
Yeah, what was the episode? Was the wedding episode between Colin and Jenny?
Do I have to sing my answer? I mean, of course, I would have loved to have flown in on the magic carpet and put Colin and Jen on the magic carpet and sang A Whole New World. That would have been lovely. But it's like what Sean said, you know, you have to keep to the integrity of the storylines, and you know, there are all these major, massive storylines, and the recurring cast, for me especially, you know, we are complementing what the main storylines are. So I was a bit sad Jasmine didn't get an invite, but or maybe no, she did. In my mind, she did, and probably had to fend off Jafar on a stick or something. But who knows? Maybe, you know, in the future they do another musical, which I think they should do, because the cast, like Sean said, is so multi-talented, and you can get David Anders to sing and Sean, and we can sing A Whole New World with you.
I can show you the world.
Just realised Robin's only song would have been Living in a Box. Living in a cardboard box 6 feet underground because I'm dead.
Robin Hood fought every foe. Robin Hood and his merry men.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. My question is mostly for Sean, except for you guys could answer this too. I do want to say Sark on Alias is one of my favorite villains ever. Yes. And Jasmine, of course, is amazing. So this mostly for Sean. I loved Once Upon a Time in Wonderland. Yeah, I think it was a really cool show. I think they did a good job, and I liked when like Cora came and guest starred, and you know, a couple different people came on. But I liked your episode where you were on and you were with Will. Could you talk about like the spin-off show a little bit, what it was like to be on the Once Upon a Time in Wonderland, and if each of you could have a spin-off show, the Sark from Alias spin-off show someday.
Dude, no, there was talk about.
What spin-off would you? Oh, no, talk about that. But like, what spin-off would you like to do? Like either from Once Upon a Time or from something else. But could you talk about Wonderland a little bit?
Well, it was strange because when I got the job as Robin Hood, obviously a very fine actor called Tom Ellis had played Robin Hood in an episode before, and I'm sure they wanted Tom to come back, but he was shooting another show in England, so he couldn't. So they had to recast, and lucky for me that I got it. But when I got it, I didn't realise that they were also starting this other show. So they said, look, so you're going to be in the show, but then there's a spin-off show, and I was like, great, then that's 2 jobs, right? 2 paychecks. Good, woohoo! But it was great because I also got to explore a little bit more of the character in the spin-off show at the beginning, and that helped me figure out who he was, how I'm playing him. And it was great fun to work with Michael Soccer because he's a lovely guy and a great actor, and I got to hang out with my merry men. I remember when we filmed it, we were having torrential rain, and so it was technically a difficult episode to shoot, but it was you know, it was great fun, you know, hanging out with a bunch of dudes in the forest. But to the other question, up until probably last year, I would have been stumped. I'm not sure what I'd have answered, but I did a guest spot on a show called Timeless, where Thank you very much. Where I got to play Ian Fleming, and for those who don't know, he's the creator of James Bond, and they wrote him kind of as a James Bond-like character. And that, to me, you know, as a Brit that grew up loving James Bond, to just hear in a scene people referring to me as James Bond, I was like, ooh, spin-off. I love period drama, so watching a spy in the 1940s, because he actually was a spy in real life, it seemed like a really exciting proposition. So if there are any budding showrunners out there, I am available to do said spin-off.
I think quickly for me would be Once Upon a Time in Agrabah.
Yes!
That would be fun to explore more the journey of how Aladdin and Jasmine met and their friendship, which then later finally they kiss. Finally! And then thereafter all the challenges that they have to put up against Jafar and protecting their kingdom. I did another show called Gallivant. As Tim in the Amazon says, it would warm the cockles out of all of us if they could see you all now. And I know a lot of you have been coming up to the table and telling me how much you miss it. And there is the fan petition that's been going around, and you guys have signed it, which is so great. And they're gathering all the data from the reviews that you're leaving on Netflix, because that all counts. Because, I mean, in the future, I know Alan would love to do a Broadway show of it. And they'd love to do a movie. So Dan Fogelman had written a whole Bible from the pilot for 7 seasons. So you know, they were joking like how in the 3rd season Gallivant might have turned into a frog, and I'd have to then go and embark on this journey to go and turn him back to Gallivant, but I have to face the evil queen again. So I mean, there are all these wonderful ideas that, you know, we'd love to explore and do. And you know, I'd like to sing more songs, like Love is Strange and all that, so...
I would like to hear those songs.
Do you want me to sing a snippet?
I actually, funny Gallivant piggyback, I think because Amundsen told me that she beat out Philippa Sue, who played Eliza in Hamilton on Broadway for her part in Gallivant. She was like, I'm so glad I didn't know that.
Because I would have did it.
That's pretty good.
Nervous, and I know
she's okay at singing.
Okay, I'll serenade you guys. Love is strange and sometimes kind of gross. It's embarrassingly gassy, and it leaves its dirty underwear in piles around the place. Love is rude, it has a sort of smell, and it thinks that you don't notice. And it blurts out things that make you want to smack its stupid face. And it's awkward and confusing. It annoys you half to death. Then it grins that dirty grin, and you can't catch your breath.
Thank you.
No, seriously, there was talk about a Sark spin-off. And then that didn't happen. And then I was going to be on Lost, and that didn't happen. And then that's when I learned everybody in this town, not Phoenix, well, lovely town, tells you everything they're never going to do for you. But then I had heroes after that, and so yeah, and I couldn't get arrested as a I couldn't get arrested as an American after 5 years of age, playing an Englishman. So I'm so glad heroes came along. I actually thought about moving to England. It was like, this is what you want.
These Americans keep stealing our jobs.
My buddies who gripe about the English coming over and taking.
This is only 3 jobs in England. That's why. Anders has nicked one of them.
Yeah, Sark's been up with it, dope. Thanks, man.
Cheers, thank you, mate. Hello, sunshine.
I was wondering if you could be any character in the world, what would it be?
Donald Trump, so
Too soon? Too soon? Any fictional character? any character from any TV show, any movie, any literature?
Anything.
Oh, Han Solo's a pretty cool. Indiana Jones. Harrison Ford. Anything that Harrison Ford has done, basically. Even the guy that helped build the barn in the Amish town in Witness. You know.
Henry from Regarding Henry.
Yeah.
Which incidentally J.J. Abrams wrote when he was 19 years old. Which is insane. Wow.
Whatever happened to J.J.?
I don't know. It just disappeared.
What became of him?
He's the up and comer.
What do you guys think?
Princess Leia.
Oh,
Do you like Princess Tiff? Princess Leia. And Elizabeth Bennet and Jane Austen. She just went and got a tan in the sun, so.
Spent the summer in Somerset. God,
Anders, are you going to be a period Victorian woman, or?
Heathcliff from Wuthering Heights.
I see a spin-off with you two here. Charging around the walls, starting to show with your chest open.
A very deep V today. I'm my full chest hairs.
Thank you for your question.
Thanks for being here, you guys. David, I love you and I Zombie.
Thank you.
So, many iconic characters and from literacy and from Disney and everything. How did you guys prepare for your characters on the show?
Well, I talked to Mary Shelley's Frankenstein a little bit, and watched Gene Wilder and Young Frankenstein.
I obviously went back to watch Aladdin. And I had a chat with Alan Menken too. Because when the announcement came out that I was going to play Jasmine, he was the first to send me an email, and he was so excited because he couldn't have hoped for a better Jasmine, which he said, which is really sweet coming from Alan. And so he just told me, he said, you are her, you know, just be the inspiring young Jasmine that she is, and embody that light and that energy. And I looked up to, I really wanted to. What I love about what Adam and Eddie did was too, they brought a lot of, they humanized Jasmine a lot, so that we can all be relatable, relate to her, that, she doesn't have this perfect life, she has her own set of challenges, and whilst they're very different from most of us, she still loves just as much as we do, and she feels everything, heartbreak and whatnot, and so I love that they did that with her, and I also modeled it off of Princess Diana too, because she was very, she was like the people's princess, and I thought if that could, bring that kind of energy to Jasmine, then that would be great.
In preparation to play Robin Hood, I just went on a shoplifting spree. I'm going to CVS, Q-tips, toilet roll, anything I could get away with, really. But staying true to the character, I immediately gave it to people out on the street. People just looking at me going, there's a strange dude giving me Q-tips, don't know what to... Okay, thanks very much. Are you okay? Where's your hand glove? Do you need a bus? Or... I read up a little bit about the mythology of the character, and I was so thinking about the way that, because Robin Hood, we still don't really know if he really was real, or whether he was a guy that then the legend built around something or an incident. So I was so sort of immersing myself in who it would be, and then because Robin Hood famously comes from Nottingham, and in England, Nottingham is a bit more like that, alright, and I just thought, I don't think a lot of around the world people are going to get that. So, sometimes as an actor you want to be true to what it's supposed to be, but that sometimes for the purposes of television isn't quite right. So I was wrestling with what voice to give him, and then I just thought, I'll just stick with kind of my own. And I was so
with Kevin Costner's version.
He's actually one of my favourites. Well, that's because he's from Nottingham. Where is the maid Mariah? I think he was sort of outside skirts of Nottingham, Costner's version. But the funny thing was I was so preoccupied with worrying about accents and how I was going to move around in these leather trousers that I completely forgot that I was supposed to be good with the bow and arrow. And when they handed me the bow and arrow, I was a bit like, oh yeah, right, bow and arrow, but luckily there was an amateur, as luck would have it, an amateur archer on the set who was taking stills, and she saw me just standing there with the bow and arrow. And she went, you don't know what you're doing, do you? And I said, no, we'll give it away. She told me just a few basics, and so that was how I came to find my Robin Hood, shoplifting and being arse backwards with a bow and arrow.
We are almost out of time, so we just have to get about.
You're just in time, Batgirl.
If you could go on a magic carpet ride with anyone, who would it be and why?
You should take that first.
Well, I'm going to keep it with the show. I'd love to take Hook.
He's incidentally really ugly in real life.
Real life is just
I'd do a magic carpet karaoke ride. So then I'd go and pick up Robin Hood.
Yeah.
And then Frankenstein too, because having spent time with these gents over the weekend, you know, what's not to like and love. And it'd be so much fun. With Colin, Colin is, you guys know very well, and I'm only just learning from being on this season, is that he's very naughty. And he likes to put on the Guy Liner Smolder thing and try to make you laugh. And I'm the worst corpser on set, so when the camera's on me and I'm in a scene with Colin, all of a sudden he'll just turn it on and like say, "How you doing?" And I'm like, "Are you serious? You're not doing that on my coverage." "Oh yes, I am." And it literally became like that the whole time. So I don't know if you guys were on Twitter. I sent Colin a big picture of a piece of ham. So if you see any bantering going on between Colin and I, you know why. Just getting him back for all that.
I've seen him do that, it's true. He does it to the makeup art. Like any girls that are on the set, he's like, "Hey, you alright?" And everyone kind of goes, sometimes I get caught in the crossfire and I go, "Oh, Colin, stop it!"
Red, just so you know, he'll kill me for saying this, just call him Fancy Pants. And my favourite, one girl tweeted him and said, #panty dropper. So I call him that all the time on set, and he just lives it. Well, we have to thank you for being here, all three of you.
I would go on a magic carpet ride with Donald Trump so I could push him off.
To my answer. You literally pinned me to the post. So I guess if you're going to go with that, I guess we might as well throw Mike Pence under the bus as well. The social community, we are right there with you. Thank you all so much. Thank you for watching the show and supporting us and being so sweet to us this weekend. Phoenix, you're wonderful. We love you. Thank you so much.